So I'd love to say a big welcome to Monica Shepherd, and you are an organic naturopath, and you also work with energy, Monica. And it was great to see you in our big Herald Sun the other day. You had a photo in there and an article. That was amazing manifestation. Well done. And so I've noticed that you do great work, and I'd love to talk to you about all things wellness today. So big welcome. Thank you for joining me. Yay.
Thank you for having me. There's so much I can talk about, so ask away. But yeah, the Herald Sun was a manifestation that I did when I recently was told about a tip where you write 20 things you would like to manifest. And when these things start flowing, they're just signs from the universe that you're in your flow, you're in the right direction, you're getting to a higher vibration. And so maybe half of that list can be really small things and the other half quite big things. And it's beautiful because as the small things start flowing, you develop a lot less resistance to the larger things. It starts to be like, oh, this is very possible. And being in a newspaper was one of the things on my list. So it was beautiful. I got contacted. It wasn't something I had to search for. And it definitely shows that anything is possible.
Oh, that's brilliant. Well done, Monica. How many things on your list have you had ticks with so far? Can I ask that?
Yeah, you certainly can. So I had my first list, I had about 15 things all come within 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks.
Brilliant.
Within 2 weeks. Was amazing. And so then I was like, well, what do I do? Do I have to wait for this list to finish, or do I keep writing? And no, you can just keep going. So I'm on my second list at the moment, and that is about halfway completed as well.
So basically it's just writing it down, that you didn't spend time visualizing it or anything. You just wrote it down and that was it?
I wrote it down. I didn't think about the list too much. So it's not like I go and check it every day. The list was done and then I just put it in a cupboard or I put it away somewhere. And then every day I just do something that gets me in a high vibration and gets me in a flow. That could be something like listening to a good song. It could be chatting to a good friend, making sure I'm really passionate and present in the work that I'm doing. And allowing it to happen, basically.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I ran a self-expression class the other day and we all did a bit of painting, and I noticed that when you do something creative like that, like painting, you just go into this zone which is timeless, and it's really a different space to be in because you don't have an awareness of time, and it's just like what you're talking about. It's the flow of the universe. And whenever I get into that space, I find something often manifests when I come out of it. I think I've manifested because I've got into that zone, which is the 0 point for manifestation, where you can really create things.
Yeah, beautiful. Painting is a great example and something that I probably haven't done a lot of. The other thing is nature time as well. I find when you're in nature and then you're connected to Mother Earth, and you've got just this natural environment and the sights and the sounds and the smells, it's easier for me to see energy. It's easier for me to remember that we're not just three-dimensional. And when I come out of that nature time, it's the same experience, things manifest. So there was a lot of that as well. And where I live in Melbourne, I'm near the mountains, I'm near the hills, I'm near little creeks, so I can easily go and spend some time in nature. And I come back and things have manifested as well. But painting, that is definitely going to be on my list now.
Oh, lovely. And nature, yesterday I went for a nature walk, and then I put my hands on the earth, and then I felt all this energy, like a tingling between the earth and my hands, and I felt like Mother Earth was helping me clear my energy. And it was really, really powerful, really strong energy coming through for quite a period of time. So that's a great way to just release and let go of anything that you've been holding on to. And I had another thing which will be really relevant to your work too, that I was reading, that was saying that the darker forces, when they were realizing that the light was coming down and it was being successful and victorious in, really finding a way to empower the earth more and more. And the dark came through with this plan they thought, oh, what can we do to prevent this, to stop this, and to keep in control and keep the power? And they decided to toxify our earth in many, many different ways. And so a lot of what we're encountering at the moment is the importance of detoxing our systems and getting all that gunk out. So I'd love to talk to you about that, because it seems that would be one of your specialties. So what ways can we detox our bodies at the moment? What are the best ways? Because, we look at things like fluoride in the water, the Monsanto GMOs, the all the different things out there that are doing that. What would you recommend for people at this time?
Yeah, okay. So what I often recommend for my clients is we have to do it step by step. So first of all, I usually start with the diet, and coming back to those organic, fresh, whole foods is a great place to start. And then from there, I look at what products they're putting on the body. In their skincare is a big one, in their deodorants, in their body washes, because toxins will be absorbed from the skin. And then we look at what are they cleaning.
Can I just say there's lots of aluminium in deodorants?
Absolutely. Yeah, and look, one of the things I do in clinic is heavy metal testing through the hair, and 90% of people are going to come back high in at least one metal, usually a couple. So yes, deodorant is one way, absolutely. And then what we're using in our household, what are we cleaning with? What are we exposing ourselves to? These are really, really big things. And then there's little ways we can detox every day. I like using therapeutic quality essential oils, for example, because they resonate really well with cells. So putting them in the water can be beautiful. And also a couple of times a year doing a full herbal detox as well. But we also know that it's also about the kind of people we're letting in our life, the kind of energy we're letting in our life as well, and who we're choosing to sit with and be around, because that can also be a way of adding toxins in our life as well. And as you know, it's all interconnected. But keeping in mind, there is a lot we can control for our lifestyle toxins. Of course, there's a lot that we can't control. I mean, you just have to be exposed to traffic, and you're going to get high levels of cadmium, and we can't all live in the middle of nowhere and not be exposed to that. But our vibration is higher than anything they're doing to us and anything that's put out there. So you have a higher vibration than the food you eat. You have a higher vibration than the toxins that we're exposed to. So remember that as well, because there can be a lot of fear-based agendas as well, and I don't want people to come from that mind place when they're thinking about toxins. Think of it more as we are empowered, we have so much control, and so be mindful of what you're eating, what you're putting on your body, what you're doing in your own personal household space. That is a fantastic place to start. Yeah.
Absolutely, that's excellent. Reminds me when you're talking about the air too, because recently a lady in the area that I live in, Clunes, Victoria, which is a country town, sort of a bit separate from other towns, that there was her son was being affected by pollution, and he talked to the EPA, and they said that the town that had the best air, the cleanest air, was Clunes in Victoria, where I live. So that was really lovely to hear. Yeah.
Sorry, where have you got? Oh, there you go. I don't know where you went now. Yeah, okay. Beautiful. Yeah, clean air is a big one. Yeah.
So there's some really good ideas there to detox. And like you say, the energy that we're taking in from not only food and water, but from the people around us, and what we listen to, and the movies that we watch, and all those sorts of things. Even the music that we listen to is a big one as well.
100%. Yeah, 100%. It is every aspect of your life. Yeah.
you encourage people to do like an inventory of, what ways can I upgrade my my life, my frequency, the energy around me? Do you think an inventory is a good idea, just to write down different things and ways that you can improve?
Absolutely, absolutely, because we are on a healing journey. We are on a spiritual journey. So we're always learning, we're always growing. And, I see people on all different stages and different paths of that journey. And I definitely think there's always ways that we can be, uplifting our vibration, improving our health. That never ends.
No.
I see this with mental health. People have this idea, I just have to meditate once, or do yoga once, or do this breath work or this healing once, and I'm good. It's like, no, it's like any aspect of your health, it's ongoing. You have to continually look after your energy, look after your mental well-being. So an inventory is fantastic, and it's not a one-off thing. You're going to do that inventory, maybe this month, and then again in a few months again. But,
Great point.
Yeah.
That ongoing aspect is so important, because sometimes when people feel really good, they think, oh, I'm good now, I've done it, and then what happens is you can very easily slip back into the old energy, the old ways, and lose the gains that you've created. So I think that discipline's really important too in that area. And I was going to ask you, because you specialize in mental health. And I don't know if you've been noticing, but because there's so much stuff coming up for people to transmute at the moment, a lot of deep wounding, deep healings coming up to be transmuted, there is quite a lot of, anxiety, depression out there. So what would you recommend to people that are experiencing high levels of perhaps depression or lethargy or anxiety or those sorts of qualities? What would you recommend? Again, I'm sure there'll be diet and all those things, but what would you say to that?
Yeah, okay, look, they are very big words that describe a very different picture that each person can be experiencing.
Mm-hmm.
And I certainly see that, and I practice individualized medicine. So I treat each person as an individual, and they might come with a big title like depression or anxiety, but I want to know what that looks like for them and what is the actual biochemistry cause. And then I work alongside, I've got a beautiful meditation and life coach teacher at the moment, and he does a lot of work with trauma, and that's really beautiful. But in general, I want people to know that there are options. There are options. I think that in the media we're really told that, this is your only treatment option. Well, no, not necessarily. You have lots of options, but it's going to look very different for you. People could be eating a healthy diet, but that may not be the diet that's going to support their unique biochemistry picture. And so you can, it's like anything, and that was the other thing I was going to say as well about inventory, is having someone to be accountable to is a really beautiful healing experience. We are all here to help each other on the road home, so to speak. And you know yourself, whether it's your spiritual journey, whether it's your health journey, you will only get so far on your own. You will get so much further when you start to connect with other people who are there, not necessarily to help you, but to inspire you to be able to have the right tools to help yourself.
Yeah.
And I feel like, if you're suffering a lot of depression, anxiety, it's a really good time to reach out to someone else. You may be able to get there on your own, but it'll take you so much longer and it's such greater cost than if you start to find the right people that you connect with who are going to help you. Because, meditation can be beautiful. Diet looks really different for each person. The supplements are going to look really different for each person, and even what those supplements might be. It's a really tricky thing to narrow it down. There's no one fit for everybody, so to speak. And that's what I want you to know. Yeah.
And I think that sense of community is really becoming more strong this year, you know, people connecting together more and more, you know, even us, and, you know, connecting with people that feel in alignment with your energy and that are like-minded. I think that's such an important key, because when we're incarnate in families, they don't necessarily have the same energy, but when we connect to people that have the same sort of way of looking at life, the same interests, the same energy, I think that that's a really important key to mental and overall health. Do you think?
Absolutely. We have a strong need to be loved and accepted. And not everybody is going to love and accept you, but the right people will. So, yeah, I definitely encourage you to be really authentic and really open with whatever you're experiencing, and know that, yeah, your tribe is out there, your right people are out there who will love and accept you. Yeah.
Beautiful. That's a great message.
Yeah.
Tell me a bit more about you, Monica. So, in your journey to get where you are now and have all the wisdom and the awareness that you have now, is there some interesting, you know, background that you can share, or maybe there's a story there that sort of was your spiritual awakening? Or tell us a little bit about that, because I think that can be inspiring for people when they hear more about people's personal stories.
Yeah, look, it's a long story. I'll try and keep it short for you. But yeah, I was raised a Seventh-day Adventist, which is a form of Christianity. So, you know, a lot of my belief systems and ideals really came from what that religion taught me. So I was married when I was 18, which, you know, seems really young, but it's not that unusual in, you know, certain religious groups. And in many ways, he was a nice person, but, you know, definitely not the right person for me. And, you know, it was a very limiting, I was very controlled on what I could and couldn't do in that relationship. And, you know, I started working in childcare. I started to interact with a lot of other people and realised that there were different ways of living and different ways of thinking and being. And around 21, I decided to leave the church, which was really, really big. And around that time, you know, we also divorced. So it was a massive time. I developed chronic fatigue syndrome as well. So I was quite unwell, and my mental health definitely suffered.
I noticed that with a lot of healers and light workers who've had chronic fatigue syndrome, which is just because our energy is so sensitive and fine, and when we get really stressed, it can really impact on our systems, and it's hard to be able to, with the physical density of the body, for a lot of light workers and healers to work through that. So I have noticed that in the past that a lot of those people that I know have had symptoms of that, and I myself have at times when I've been through severe stress also been very, very tired as well. So I can relate as well. So that was an interesting point. I just wanted to know what you said.
No, I've also found a similar thing, and you know, my whole life I have been very, very intuitive and very empathetic. So yeah, having chronic fatigue syndrome, it definitely made sense in that regard. But I saw a naturopath around that time, and he really helped me completely change where I was at. You know, I was able to go back to full-time work. I was interested then in studying natural medicine. At that time, there was no fee, help, or hex, so it was a really slow, long journey to becoming qualified, and took many, many years. And I would describe where I was at with my belief system after leaving the church as quite an atheist. You know, I went from being like, this is what I've taught all my life, well, none of this is real. And then when I was living in central Queensland, I had a big spiritual awakening where I started to see much higher perspectives. And that was both the people I was around at the time, the energy of the city being where it is, and the history of the Indigenous people who live there. You know, it creates a certain vibration wherever we are, and I really resonated to it. And boom, it really opened my mind again. It started a journey.
Particular sort of location that was around where that was.
Yeah, that was in Rockhampton in Queensland.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it was really unique and really, really lovely. And I learned so much during that time. I started to really accept my intuition, because that is something that both religious-wise and society-wise, I hadn't been encouraged to use or accept. So that was lovely. And something that continued. I'm very left brain. I love chemistry, but I also have this side of me as well that, can see auras and really connect to people's energy. And yeah, being able to harness that and accept that is a very important part of who I am as well, and the work that I have to do here. And then, I came to Melbourne, was only going to be here for 1 year was my plan, but I met my daughter's father in a petrol station. He was someone who probably, should have just been a friend, but we had a child together, and that was lovely, and we're at a really good place now where we are not together but still co-parent really, really well. I absolutely feel that I'm in exactly the right place where I'm meant to be, and I'm enjoying the work that I'm doing for mental health, not just on a small scale as far as, my local clinics that I have here in Melbourne, but on a global scale as well, through what I'm doing with podcasts and interviews and getting the message out there. So it's been really, really beautiful. My mental health, where I'm at spiritually, is in a much different place to where I was 10 years ago. And, that includes how I look after my physical body as well. Being able to nourish and eat really healthy food has also been a really big thing for me. Yeah.
When people have a block, with actually eating good food and nourishing themselves well, because I know many people do have a block with that. What do you encourage for them to get past that inner block, which gets them to eat the proper foods, really healthy, nutritious foods? How do they get past that, do you think?
Yeah, the blocks can look really different. A big one I find is actually teaching people that they're worthy of being nourished, they're worthy of eating really good food and looking after themselves really well. Because some people will have this almost subconscious belief that I'm not good enough to look after myself on that level. And coming back, I see a lot of predominantly women and girls who have had eating disorders in the past or are suffering from one at the moment. And it's about coming back to how are they actually feeling. They wanting to tell me, oh, I should be eating this, I should be eating that. I'm like, so tell me, when do you feel hungry? Tell me what that feels like for you. Coming back to your body, your intuition. And for example, I don't do a lot of meal plans with people. I find that really counterintuitive. I'm doing a lot of intuitive eating because that is what is going to enable them to eat healthy in the long term. What feels good for my body
today? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Fantastic.
And you deserve it. Yeah.
And you deserve it. Yes. Yes, totally. I think that's such a big thing at the minute, self-love, self-care. I run retreats in that now here in Clunes, and that self-love is the core and the self-worth of virtually everything, really, so many things. That feeling of I am loved, I am lovable, that sort of energy, and to get to that helps you as the foundation for everything else. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Those blocks can look really different. But I find it better to love those blocks away than try to force them away.
Yeah.
Let them kind of soften by themselves over time is what works better in my experience. Yeah. And often, for me as well, having the biochemistry background, when I can kind of let people know, hey, this is what was happening with your biochemistry, this is probably subconsciously why you were behaving this way, it does make them a lot more gentle on themselves and a lot more self-forgiving as well.
Yes.
But there's an actual reason why I was behaving this way.
Sure,
yeah,
absolutely. And that forgiveness for self is so important too, that like you say, being kind to self. And it's quite a dense reality at times that we live in. We all encourage challenges, I mean, we all face challenges, and so that is something that we need to be really nurturing on self for, and to recognize that, you know, we don't have to be perfect all the time, and that we can't always get everything right, and that, you know, this shadow aspect of self, we need to love that and heal that in that way. So yeah, good points that you've made there.
Beautiful.
Lovely.
Beautiful. Yeah, we could talk for so much about this. I mean, even just accepting your inner child as well. You know, that we could talk for hours just about that as well. That is also yeah.
So true. So true.
Yeah.
So tell me, what is your, in terms of your day for yourself for nurturing, what's your like a good day for you look like in terms of how you function in a day, just to give people a bit of an idea or a template for, you know, what works for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I am really, really busy, very, very busy, but I've always was traditionally someone who was a big planner. And what I've had to really let go of, even this year, is I wake up each day in the flow knowing there are all these things I need to do, but I don't worry so much about how they're going to happen. I let each day sort itself out, trusting in the universe, trusting the flow of life. And that has helped me so much, letting go. But I do start the day with some meditation, and it might only be short. It might only be 5 or 10 minutes. I don't have an hour or 2 hours every morning, and that is okay. That is absolutely fine. Often, you know, when I'm getting my daughter ready for school, I'm getting ready for work, we will have some different music as well, because having a little bit of fun and putting a little bit of play into the busyness can be really beautiful as well. Because, you know, it's okay to be really busy if you're passionate and you're really enjoying what you do, which I absolutely love, but I always want to come from that right mindset. And, you know, little things as well, like in the afternoon when I'm able to, letting our bunny rabbit run around the backyard, taking my dog for a walk. I also really love ending the day where possible with a really nice bath. Baths is something that I find really energy clearing as well. Yes. Really physically clearing. I love baths. And once a week, where possible, having some nature time. And, you know, it doesn't have to be a set day for me. It's just something that I'm conscious of.
Beautiful. And things in your bath that you can put, things like maybe Epsom salts or essential oils, or anything else that you can recommend there?
Yeah. So for me at the moment, it's, you know, a couple of Epsom salts, and I've been using lavender and cedarwood oil, but there are so many options.
Yes.
There are so many things you can put in your baths. For example, sometimes with my daughter, I put real dried chamomile flowers in the bath. She loves that.
Beautiful.
Soothing, relaxing, it looks pretty. So, yeah, you can do herbal baths like that, which is really interesting. You can do dried lavender flowers in the bath. That's also really beautiful. But I do personally favour the salts. They're energetically really clearing, but also you will absorb that magnesium through your skin as well.
Yes.
And yeah, with the oils, it's not just being in the water, you're also breathing that in as well. So you're taking a few deep breaths. Yeah.
I miss the beach a lot, so that reminds me of, you know, putting that salt in there reminds me of being at the beach again, which is great.
It's interesting. I think growing up in Queensland, I definitely was exposed to the beach quite a lot, but at the moment I'm not so close to the beach. I'm really resonating with the forest, and I feel really in tune being just with trees. It's amazing. Like, we resonate with different things at different times.
It's funny.
Yeah, so
I was the same. Many years ago, I thought, now I've got a choice. I could choose to be by the beach, because I was by the beach then, or I could be with trees. It was hard to sort of get both in the one spot. And I ended up going from the beach to where the trees, because the trees were calling me. And then I lived on a property. It was about many acres. I think it was about 40 acres with lots of beautiful trees, and I'd go around and hug the trees and everything. And then after a while, I started missing the beach. It's like,
yeah.
so then I was visualizing the beach in my meditations a lot. So it's hard sometimes to get both at once.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to go with how you're feeling, what's resonating with you.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm definitely in the right place at the moment.
And I think that's true of us all, even if we don't realize it. Everything is in divine alignment, and it's just trusting, even if we don't see the bigger picture, that we are where we're meant to be at this time. I think that's really important too.
It's important.
And I like to also, another thing with baths is bless the water. The water holds energy, so when you bless it with a beautiful intention of love and light and healing or energizing or whatever, that puts that energy into the water. Because if you read the book The Hidden Meaning of Water by the Dr. Emma Rota, how do you say it? Japanese.
Oh, I don't know. Yes, I know that book is beautiful, and I'm so glad you've mentioned that. Such a good point. Yeah.
That's really good. So I always try to do that, not even with water I'm drinking, and of course blessing our food is really important as well. So lovely.
That's a really good point. Yeah, I love that.
And so tell me, Monica, as a last note, before we sort of finish shortly, I was going to ask you, what do you feel about the energies at the moment? What are you feeling? Because to me, I'm feeling this incredible light coming down, pushing us to really grow and evolve as a collective and individually. And it's really pushing us in our spiritual growth and telling us to really hop on board and do everything we can to upgrade ourselves spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. How are you feeling about the energy at the moment? What's your perspective?
Yeah, I feel like this is a time for massive growth. And I know personally with people I'm interacting with, a lot of people have been through big changes this year. But what I feel can happen sometimes is the universe wants to bring us all up a vibration, but we almost have to break our shell a little bit and go through some experiences. Otherwise, it's stretching us like a rubber band, where if we let go of the shell, then we can just fly up much more easily to this next vibration. So I do feel the vibration of the planet raising. I do feel a lot of the veils that would keep us apart are also becoming thinner, and so we're able to connect with more like-minded souls, and it's beautiful. I feel like we're in a really good time where distance doesn't matter as much between people. It's more, we can still be close on our energy, and it's beautiful.
That is lovely. I love
beautiful
it. And so how do we shatter that shell? If we're wanting to be able to transmute that, how do we do that? What's your work?
Yeah, it's a really good question, because it can be quite hard. And I've been through that many times, that big identity change. I went through that when I left the church, and you're almost like being told the grass is green your whole life, and you realize, hey, well, it's rainbow coloured, or it's something completely different to what you thought it was.
I'd love it to be rainbow coloured. That'd be great.
It's literally can be that extreme sometimes. But you have to really, really trust and have faith in the process. You have to allow yourself space when you need it. It's such a big one. And you must have faith and space. Let yourself feel what you're feeling. Sit with it as long as you need to. And be 100% authentic. So if your imagination is coming through and, it's got messages for you, accept it. That is my biggest advice. The more I accept the messages and the work I'm meant to do here, the more comes through. The more I'll start, having dreams that give me messages, or having clearer visions. So, sit with it, allow it, give yourself the space for it to come through.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Oh, well, thank you so much, Monica. I'll chat to you in a minute when we hop off this, but but I just want to say thank you so much for all your beautiful words of wisdom and knowledge and sharing. And I hope we can do this again in the future too.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely. Thank you so much. It was lovely.
Oh, that's a pleasure. That's a pleasure. And I'll leave your information below for people to be able to contact you if they want to book a session with you or contact you. And thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Hope you have a beautiful day.
Thank you so much, lovely. Thank you.